At my FX right here, the prophetic analyst. So this is our usual weekly market forecast for the week of the 21st to the 25th. So without further ado, let's dive into the business of the day. All right, so here we have BTC. We have BTC from last week, and you can still reminisce from last week. We were anticipating price to continue to push to the upside. Okay, I think price was somewhere around here. Okay, price was up here as that weekend when we had last week video. So I said we are looking for a pullback to price coming back to the 82k, which is what we currently have right now. So I'm gonna extend this like so. So actually, so we have been on a trade which I have sent out. Most likely the week has been very rangy. Okay, the week has been consolidating for the longest of time, but regardless, so we have been on this trade for some days now. So we are targeting our first levels, which is 89k. Then we are looking for price to go to the 81k. Okay, all the way to the upside. So we are still very much bullish on BTC USD, and we are still holding the trades strong to the upside for BTC USD. So let's check the weekly time frame to see what price has for us. So here on the weekly time frame, you can see how price closed for last week. Price closed massive bullish with a bullish engulfing candle, though for 2 weeks ago actually price closed with this bullish engulfing candle, but for the previous week, okay, today is Saturday making this video, so price is yet to close. The weekly candle closes on Sunday on BTC, so most likely by Sunday this price is going to close. However, we are above these zones, all right, which we were looking for price to come back. So we are still very much on that bullishness, so we could even be seeing price going all the way back to our 108k. okay, remember I was still the same person that predicted all the drops all the way from 100k all the way down to 72k, which I also called you guys attention. I'm going to make an in-depth video about how we were able to make a lot of money during these sales, and how we were able to catch those trades, which most of them are also analyzed in our weekly market videos. And I'm also so basically the same thing is about to happen again on the bullish side of things. So if we will most likely be having a super bullish trend that may be taking price back to the all-time highs of the 109k, okay, of the 109k, then we could be seeing price going back to 120k, guys, 120k. all right, so but one zones after the other, guys. Okay, so we would be swinging BTC for the longest of times, and BTC is still very much bullish from all indications. Okay, so actually from where price currently is, it should be slightly okay. So if you are just watching this video right now and you're not on a free Telegram community, so I'll give you upper zones and a lower zone. So I'll just give you guys the upper zones. If price is able to clear this 85k every Thursday, like the 15 minutes to 1 hour, you could be entering for 84k. Then you can go as deep as your 91k to the upside for BTC. all right, so up next is Xauusd. A higher time frame pullbacks, then a continuations on price to our 3,400 areas right about there, which is our target. So do how to mark these zones on your phone, your PC. For Xauusd, you guys can remember I predicted Xauusd going back to all the way to 3,400k. Currently Xauusd was able to clock 3,300k plus to the upsides. Okay, so we have been massively bullish. Okay, though price was not able to give us that nice deep pullbacks to these zones of the 3,000 and 150 ounce, okay, which is these zones here. I was looking for a perfect or a more better pullbacks to the downsides here for price continuations to the upsides, but that did not happen. So that's why I was not able to join this bullish trade. But I would have loved if price had given us our pullbacks, a more deeper pullbacks here before that continuations. But regardless, we made money from other trades, and which we are still inside. Okay, so moving forward for Xauusd, okay, I'm going to give you guys a two-way scenarios, okay, because this week, all right, price looks a little bit fishy. All right, so I'm going to plot an upper zone here, and I'm also going to plot a lower zones too. Okay, so we'll be working with this. So it's going to be an easy one. Even I myself, I'll be looking forward to enter either directions. Okay, so if price breaks here, okay, a pullback 15 minutes 1 hour is fine. You could be targeting your 1:2, 1:3, and our next zone should be the 3,400 ounce to the upsides. And if price is able to break below here, okay, retest again, and we should be targeting the next support, which is about the 3,200 ounce all the way to the downsides too. So that's it for Xauusd, and up next is Eurusd. For Eurusd, you guys can see how we predicted Eurusd into precision. Though Eurusd did not give us that massive bearishness that we were looking for, but we were on a bearish trade in which we took here for last week, okay, which signals were also being sent, which gave us a nice 1:2.2 there, and stop loss, which I'm going to add it somewhere around in this video. Although we're targeting, that's why it's good to always take profits when you get to your 1:2.2, like I always tell you guys on our free classes or my mentees. Okay, so actually I took profits out of 80%, and I was still trying to swing 20%. So stop loss were being moved to break even, so we did not lose anything on that particular trade. Okay, it was a very nice winning trade for us. So though we were targeting, or we are still looking forward for price to come back all the way back to these zones of the 1.108 area. So I'm going to give you guys a bullish and a bearish scenarios, guys, because price is quite tricky. Okay, and for last week we did not have so much volatility. Let's go to the weekly time frame so you could see how the weekly time frame closed. All right, we did not have much volatility in the markets last week. We barely had up to 140 pips of move, which was not much, and this 140 pips was between a range. Okay, it wasn't just pushing towards one direction. So as we can see how price closed here for last week, it closed with more like a wick to the upside and a wick to the downside. Okay, so anything could happen in this case. That's why I'm giving you guys a two-way scenario. So price is most likely closing with an indecision candle in this case. So okay, so either which way, if price breaks this zone, a retest there, then we could be targeting our new highs of 1.16 right about there. If price continues to the downside, okay, which is what I would love to see price do, okay, price come to these downsides, retest on that zones again, we should be targeting our 1.108 all the way to the downsides. Okay, so that will be it for us on Eurusd. Do well to mark it out on your phone, your PC, or your trading device. Up next is Gbpusd. GBPUSD for last week actually just opened from these zones. Okay, price opened from these phase zones, which was our phase zones of price moving to the upsides. Okay, remember, told you guys we'll be targeting 100% retracement level, and before going to the black area right about there. So price actually played that out into precision, but I was a little bit skeptical. That's why I did not take those trades. I took very few trades last week on because price has been ranging and not giving us so much move. Okay, so I was still skeptical. I would have really appreciated if price gave us more deeper retracement to either these zones or these zones. Then I would have felt more comfortable to take the bullish trades. But regardless, be it as it may, price has been super bullish, as you can see. So let's see how the weekly time frame actually closed. So looking at it here on the weekly time frame for GBP/USD has a very nice was very bullish for last week. Nice trend regardless for lower time frame traders or scalpers. Okay, so let's go back to our hourly time frame to see how we can make something out of this trade. Okay, so it looks quite easy and quite nice. All right, how price closed for last week. So I'm going to mark out some zones like so. All right, I'll move this a little bit inside, yeah, like so. And we already have this green bar here, but I'm going to still mark it out like so. So either which way in which price would wish to move. So if price goes breaks here, retest, you can go to your 15 minutes, your 1 hour. You could target the next resistance areas, which is these highs. Or the DXY for last week, nothing price, like I said, the dollar index was what was causing more of the havoc on the trading market, because if you look left, you see where the dollar index is currently is actually on a very nice support level like so. Okay, and if you see here, you can see how price also closed for last week, ranging. Okay, so more like an indecision candle right about there. So let's go back to the 4 hour time frames to see what price did. Okay, so price, we were actually looking for price favoring the upsides, but that did not happen. That's why we did not take a lot of trades, or even we took, I think, just 2 trades for last week because of how price was indecisive. You can see that hell of a range that we have right about there, and price was yet to alter this market structure. So that's why it's always good to have a trading rules before you execute. Okay, those rules in which I speak about of no break of structures, no entries. Okay, so that is what we basically do here. So we'll still be sticking to that. So I'm still going to mark out a new zones down here. All right, so it's all about patience, guys. Trading is all about patience. Okay, you not taking a trade too is also a win, because your capital is being preserved for another trading day. But if you blow your account, you won't be able to have an account to trade when you see your best kind of setups. Okay, so if price continues to the downside, we should be looking to see price continue all the way to the 17.500. For USD card for last week, and we had some nice trades which we also took. I think it gave us a nice almost 1:2 in that case. Like you can see, very nice trade. So a lot of people also made money from that, but unfortunately we were targeting all the way to the upsides, which price did not get all the way there. So it's always important you take a profit at a 1:2, 80 to 90% for me. Then you can swing the rest for a 1:5, a 1:10, and all. Okay, so let's see how the weekly time frame actually closed for last week. Okay, so looking at here how price actually closed for last week, we can see price is seated on this strong resistance on support in that case. And if we look deep inside how price closed for the previous week, okay, we can see price close with a sort of a hammer kind of candle. This is very tricky, guys, very tricky. Okay, because it still looks like price could continue pushing down to the downsides. Okay, so either which way, that's why I'll be giving you guys a bearish and a bullish scenarios. And why am I also looking at probably price will continue pushing down? Okay, because we have some imbalances left here to the downside, which price may most likely want to fill. Okay, and price still has a very high tendency of reacting over here to continue to the upside. Okay, so you could be seeing price come back to bounce off this trend line. Okay, these zones of this trend line also aligning with this previous support being turned resistant before the bullish continuations back to the upsides. Okay, so it may be more like a sell to buy scenarios. But let's go to the hourly time frame to have a more precise confirmations or entries for these trades. Okay, so here on the 4-hour time frames, our zones would most likely remain. So I'll be giving you guys a bullish and bearish scenarios. Okay, if you have a nice drop here, a retest again on our zones, then we should be targeting that trend line, that same trend line we saw on the weekly time frame. That's it, which is a 1.36730 to the downsides. And if price wish to continue to the upside or reverse to the upside, we should be patient enough for price to break these zones. Okay, and break out the retest, then we should be targeting these first zones, which is our 1.407. then we can go as deep as 1.42. okay, remember, this has to do with patience, guys. You don't just have to jump into the trades. Okay, you have to be patient for price to play out with these set rules. Okay, let price alter your market structures. That's why I always say no break of structures, no entry. So that's it for USD CAD. Up next is Usdjpy. So for Usdjpy, looking left, you can see how price closed on that zone. Looking left, you can see price is reacting off that strong support level, minor support level there. So let's go to our hourly time frame to mark out our base zones in which we can use for our entries and our exits. Okay, so we'll have our upper zones right about here, like so, and we'll have our lower zones, which is right about here. So whatever price does in between these two zones, we are most likely not interested until we have a break, a retest, and a push continuations. Mind you, there's a very close zone right about here, which is a 140. Then we can go as deep as 137 areas. Okay, for the bearishness, and for the bullishness, we should be at least allow price to clear these highs, create a new higher high, then retest. On that retest, it could be a 15 minutes, a 1 hour retest. Then you look for your entries setups. Okay, this is not just about break and retest. You have to look for your own kind of entry setups to use to enter the trades. Okay, those your order blocks, your price action, your support and resistance, your trend lines. These are the times or the kind of zones you should be looking for those confirmation, and you most likely make money from it. Okay, but if you don't have any trading strategy, this is also what we teach in our mentorship, and even more, a more deeper explanation and more secrets to our trading enablement, in which we are able to decipher the market into precision like we always do. Okay, and currently we are giving out access to our mentorship, our advanced one-on-one mentorship, online mentorship, for $150 discount, okay, from $300. So we are giving you 50% discount to join our mentorship for $150, which the promo most likely will be over before Monday. Okay, hopefully before you see this video, the promo may be still on or over, but before Sunday market open, the promo will be closed, and I think we just have 2 slots left. So if you're interested, you can DM me, join our Telegram group, then from there you can DM me to gain access to our mentorship. Okay, so that's actually it for Usdjpy. For USDCHF, very easy kind of trade. You can see that price is ranging, okay, in a hell of a range. So I'll mark out the downside. Like I said last week, because the DXY was not moving, guys, the DXY was ranging as hell. Okay, so that's why we did not have a lot of pace move for last week. Okay, so if price breaks down, retests, and a push continuations to the downside, so you could be targeting your 1.7800, okay, for the downside. And if price wish to continue to the upside or reverse to the upside, we should wait for price to create a new higher high, a retest 15 minutes or your 1 hour time frames. Then we should be targeting our next level, which is at 1.855 areas to the upside. Okay, so that's it for USDCHF. Let's also see the weekly time frame, how we close on USDCHF, so we could have a better perspective. Okay, you can see the weekly time frame they close with an indecision candle, which is more like a doji candle. Okay, so anything could happen. Looking left, there is no strong support in this case. Okay, so we'll just leave it as it is for USDCHF. So we can most likely only confirm that when price clears this low. So what should we be looking forward for price to break here, retest, and push continuations first level, which is our 1.627. then we can go as deep as our 1.618. okay, and if the price does not go bearish, okay, and if this fails, okay, we should most likely wait for price to clear these highs, create a new higher high. Guys, this explanation I'm doing are just brief explanations because of YouTube time. Okay, we have in-depth entries and exits confirmations before we take these trades when they come to these zones. Okay, so which, like I said, these are the things we do in our mentorship. So we should be targeting the AUD USD highs all the way up there, which is very nice. Okay, which is the 1.6668. okay, all the way to the upside. So that's it for AUD USD and this week's weekly market forecast. And do well to mark this out. And if you are watching this video to this very moment, please smash the subscribe button, like, share, and turn on post notifications, and also drop a comment on the comment section. Let's know your thoughts for the trading for the past few months and how far it has been for you and how helpful our trading analysis has been to you. And also do well to share this video to your family and friends or your social media platform, and join our free Telegram community to gain more free market forecasts and our weekly analysis, in which we hold free classes for at least once in a week for every week. All right, so always remember to plan your trades and trade your plan. See you guys on the other side. Cheers.